It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Fresh off a hiatus from making intros. Back to school and these niggas primrose. Copying me Kinkos. Money stretching, it's athleisure. Did it with no gym clothes. My ambition indigenous. Live within me. It's simple. Boy, I been that nigga. My mouth full of strings. I go Jimi Hendrix. I'm in a lane by myself and I'm pushing city limits. But 20 years in development without any gimmicks. Get something fried was my destiny. Watch me get this chicken miles away from heartache. Hardly away from home. Hardest rap out the city. Harpoons aimed at the throne. Fuck about my peripheral flow is visceral, physical specimen. Y'all full of estrogen, a bitch or two. I did it first. Used to send a verse, keep whatever works. Features never dropped, I should've sent the hurts. Nobody compares, not even the man in the mirror. Used to be better till I put this rap shit to the rear. Y'all be the third string, I'm first team. Come from a city home and serve fiends with burnt dreams. Right like the Bernstein Bears, saw the man in the martyr. Play I daily depart him. Pray I remain an exemplary father. Harder to sting on my dean. Raw denim jeans, youth in my jeans. Keeping out the city, gun in my bag. By any means, Malcolm. I was taught to stay ready for every outcome. These niggas poke their chest into the pound thump. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this Tuesday. In this video, we got to get into Talib Kweli. Now, as we've been trying to move into the post-Kendrick Drake world, artists are dropping music, tours. J. Cole just dropped. Tours going crazy. My wife and I solidified our tickets for J. Cole in Atlanta. It's over 200,000 people in the queue for the Madison Square Garden show. People are trying to deter folks from buying the Fayetteville show tickets, which will be closing out the American leg of his tour. You got Baby Keem with the Boo Man episodes. His album is dropping this week. Casino got his tour. That shit sold out almost instantly. We got other shit going on outside of Kendrick and Drake. But however, we have Talib Kweli, who I guess on an episode of what is this podcast called? Let Me Ask You This, or is that the name of it? Let Me Ask You This. Yes, it is. Where he feels like Drake is back in his position of power like nothing ever happened. He literally says like the battle never happened. He goes on to say that the clubs still favor Drake over Kendrick, as if Kendrick just was like some type of, club dominant rapper. That's never really been his thing. So I guess stating the obvious is a talking point between these two artists. But nonetheless, he also tried to get into the conversation of UMG botting on Kendrick's music, which to this day still has not been proven. Drake wasn't even able to prove or provide any level of evidence in his lawsuit. But here we are, Talib Kweli of all people talking about relevance, club music, which he's never made, and all of those different types of things. But, respect. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Let's go ahead and pull this up. So Zad Cody, who is pretty much a Drake stan page who posts anything related to Drake, says Talib Kweli's podcast on Universal, botting for Kendrick Lamar, says it's like the battle never happened because people still play Drake's music more than Kendrick's. Okay?
Kendrick leaned on a lot of that in the music. There was just a case just now. The dude was just arrested because he made up a fake AI band and he had the bots and he made, like they said, $10 million. And they arrested him for that, which I'm glad they arrested him for that. But hey, man, he figured it out. And
what did that have to do with Kendrick, though?
If that guy could do it, Universal was definitely doing it. And the thing that confused me about Drake, I'm not all in Drake's pockets or Drake's lawyer. I don't know the ins and outs. But the thing that confused me as an outsider looking in is that, yes, of course they did that for Kendrick because they did that for you. They do that for everybody. Why wouldn't they?
That's what the Kendrick and Drake battle represents for me as an artist. Mm-hmm. The dude that y'all didn't expect to have the guns and butter got the same guns and butter you got. Mm-hmm. Like Crazy Bone said on the song with Master P, I got the same thing that you got, so it all depends who got the sharpest shot. That's where we at.
It's so funny because if you just fast forward.
What the hell are they talking about? So what the entire fuck is this man talking about? Revisiting 2 years ago, bots, and let's be clear on what bots we're talking about, right? Because there's two different level of botting that was introduced to the conversation. There was the bots on social media, the Twitter bots, which are still rampant to this very day, that Kendrick talked about on 616 in LA. Then you have the stream bots, which were introduced in the lawsuit and all of that different type of shit, because it wasn't until Drake did his lawsuit that people started questioning the behavior on Kendrick's music like that. Other than a few OV hoes out there that were putting that narrative out there, Joe Budden podcast, academics, you know what I'm saying? That was going, but it wasn't really a thing until Drake put it down on paper. But the battle was not about who had the strongest bots. The battle was about niggas coming to the table with their music and the public choosing which records they fucked with the most. All right? So it ain't about no guns and butter coming to the table with the bots and who can enhance their streams the fastest, nigga. These are real life opinions. Real niggas heard this music and real niggas declared that shit over when Not Like Us came out. Top Dog said it's fucking a rap. All right? Why are we trying to rewrite history like this was some fucking tech war? Anyway, I'm gonna let these people continue. I don't know who any of them are outside of well, no, that's not true. Tefpo I've seen on Twitter, but I don't really know him.
Or just a little bit, you're looking at every hot headline. Drake made history beating the Beatles, the most number one singles in the and he's on his jet and he's on and I'm this and he's paying the battle rappers. Like he's doing everything but throwing the money around like, look at me, I'm it, right? And what Kendrick did was say, your look at me, I'm it, don't matter. What do you mean it don't matter? And literally, so forget about the bots and all of that. You can see this man so upset because what he thought mattered in this culture didn't. And then no matter how many people you got on your sides to try to throw shots, the Rick Rosses, all the other little things, none of it mattered because there was something authentic about what Kendrick did with their Not Like Us.
She's talking some sense in the room. I don't know who this young lady is, but she's talking some sense in the motherfucking room. All right, let's bring it back down to what the conversation actually was in real time, not revisionist history. Good job.
That resonated with babies are singing it. And sure, you played it a lot, everybody gonna get it. But it was people that was like, I heard it in speeches. I heard it in sermons. It was everywhere. And it was allowed him access to be in that Super Bowl and do a very, very pro-black thing that never saw before. So,
yeah, it's definitely a net positive, no matter how we look at it.
It's a net positive, and but it also Drake has not. He put an album out, and people said it was a great album, but he's never been who he was before that.
You about to say?
Great album.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say something crazy. I don't know if y'all gonna agree, but with everything she said, and I do agree. I think right now people would still rather hear Drake in the club than they would rather hear Kendrick.
Oh, for sure in the club.
In the club, it's not even a question.
Even
I was
battle.
just in Miami.
What has really taken place?
And it was like this battle never happened.
All right, so in watching this clip, I am gonna pause, but we're gonna get back to it. I'm not gonna put all that on Talib Kweli. He didn't introduce that. I don't know who this gentleman is right here. So maybe let me look into who these people are on this podcast. So the guy on the left, I think, is LG, and the woman in the room is Nicole Duncan Smith. So LG here brought that into the conversation because the narrative being formed was that Talib jumped into it, and he didn't. Somebody brought it up, and he agreed. Which Drake is more of a club rapper than Kendrick Lamar. I think that's been known for the last 15 years. the whole point of this was Kendrick being able to rise into the ranks of a Drake and be competitive and be able to do #1 albums and top selling charting records without largely catering to the clubs. Right? So that's nothing new.
Yeah, you see what I'm
It's
saying?
like it never
He's
happened.
been dethroned, but is still on the throne. Only now. This can happen now.
I think this is what makes this battle intriguing for me as a hip hop head, because I think about what you just said. I think that's a very provocative point. And I think about the past kind of kings we've had of the hip hop kingdom and how they've had to kind of navigate this moment. Where it's like, okay, I just did a big thing that caused a lot of static shock in the culture, and moving forward, things are kind of not the same, but there's some momentum that I kind of got to ride to a certain destination in order to stabilize me as the guy. And I don't know if we have quite seen that all the way through yet.
You're not supposed to always stay on top. That's just it. You're not all, and that's why.
All right. I've been seeing some people going in on Talib, but I feel like that wasn't all that controversial, right? Now, when you start talking about bots and stuff like that, definitely controversial, and there's been no actual indication of Kendrick botting. People bring these fabricated images to the table and say, "Oh, look at this," but none of that has actually materialized as fact, right? Same way you could say for the RBX lawsuit, the allegations of Drake having 300 billion or whatever the fuck amount of fake streams coming from Turkey, all these different remote locations and all of these different places that are not even located in the US with all these heavily concentrated streams. On the other side of the argument, people could say, well, unless he provides evidence of those findings, then we're not going to accept that as fact, right? Sure, that's cool. But come on, man. We've seen the industry pull for Drake. We saw what happened with Scorpion. We saw he was the face of every Spotify playlist, from country to pop to fucking electronic music to gospel to whatever. You know what I'm saying? Genres that he's never even traversed in. He was the face of the fucking playlist with his music on them shits. So we already know what type of pull Drake's name has gotten in the industry that shouldn't have been there. You could say what you want about some fucking Apple Music certified lover boy pulling up goddamn Not Like Us, but that shit goes off of lyrics. So of course it pulled up the song that stated it. Right? So yeah, I ain't gonna come down too hard on Talib Kweli on this particular situation. He's got enough situations that he needed to be taken a little bit more seriously about, harassing that lady on Twitter and Instagram for years to the point of getting his ass knocked off. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? So this is a bit of a nothing burger. Thought it was a little bit more controversial than it was. This got 500,000 views overnight. Why? I really can't tell you, because this wasn't even that deep. But they tried it though. Homeboy saying people still prefer Drake in the club. What year of the music are you talking about? Right? Because the last record that Drake really had that was popping was Nokia, which that did have some pull. It did get up to #2 on Billboard. Can't discredit that one. What did I miss? It didn't hit like that. Which one didn't hit like that? So I'm quite sure the club is still playing older Drake material from the last 5 to 10 years opposed to his new music. So not really sure what type of point that was supposed to be either. Especially when we know that Kendrick gave us a very West Coast centric album. And although it has been accepted nationally, internationally, globally, on a major scale, the only artist in hip hop, one of the only artists in hip hop to go out and do a major stadium tour, there's still a lot of bias in terms of him putting out that West Coast album not getting played in other regions as much as you would in the West Coast, right? That was something that was immediately addressed when the album dropped. Like, oh, this is heavily West Coast centric. Is it going to get the same amount of play as it would if he would have done a more universal sound? Right? So all of those things factor in, but of course, those are nuanced conversations for quick, easy, soundbite, clip farming situations. All right? But I'm not going to lie, I am confused on people that try to bring up the club point as if the club actually sells music in 2026, or as if the club is the primary place that people are consuming music in 2026. Those days are over. Clubs are still active. Strip clubs have kind of taken over the regular clubs. You still got your lounges, your hookah spots, and your a lot of the people that are getting a little bit older, they're doing like brunch and all this different type of shit. Like, but the impact, the club banger days, not what it used to be. Today, it's about cultivating a fan base on your own time. You know what I'm saying? On your social media platforms, on your YouTubes, on your Twitches, on your fucking, or if you're not doing it that way, befriending the people that are building audiences and utilizing their audience to then become part of your audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other different ways, paying for the advertisements to keep yourself in front of everybody these days. Having your label, send your shit out via email, right? I'm getting fucking Interscope emails all the goddamn time about all the artists these days. Same thing with UMG. Same thing with all these labels. Like, I'm getting more emails than I ever did from major labels to keep their people in sight. So that is where a lot of this work is being done, not so much in the clubs, right? So using that as a talking point, if I'm able to sell 300,000 plus, like a Kendrick, if I could sell damn near 300,000 with no club records, like J. Cole, I don't give a fuck who you playing in the club, because all the club artists are doing considerably worse. So clearly it's not yielding the same type of results. Drake, he gets a lot of radio opposed to a lot of the people that get the club shit. That would have been a better argument than the club. But again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Let me know what y'all's are down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and greats unacknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I could do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I ran for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stacks I built. I had to evolve and grow cause I could've